for Dot lesson number 10, we're going through some vocabulary regarding global problems. To begin with, we have earthquake. Earthquake is when the land moves, the floor moves, and everything on top of it goes down and crumbles. We have a flood, which is an overflow of water way beyond its limits. So for a river, much water on top of the limit of the river, and dry land with water, you have a flood, right? Water reaches these regions. You have a drought, which is a long period without rain in a certain area. We have a volcano, which is basically hot rock, which is lava, pouring down from the top of the mountains. A landslide is a mass of rocks or earth that collapse from the top of a cliff, of a mountain, of a hill, and comes right down. You have an epidemic. It's epidemic when a large group of people are infected by a virus or a disease. We have here a hurricane or tornado, which is a violent wind. They mean the same. Here we have war, is when a country fights another country, and a civil war, when people from the same country are in the middle of a war, they are against other people from the same country. And here, last but not least, definitely very sad that we still have this today, we have famine, which is about the extreme scarcity of food. Now that we know the names of the catastrophes, let's talk about some verbs that can be used with some of them. So earthquake, you can use here to shake. So the earthquake shook this town. The flood took over, okay? Because flood, there's no limit to the flood. Flood takes over completely. You have a drought, so people suffer from this drought. People suffer from, they don't have any food to harvest, the crops are not growing, etc., etc. A volcano erupts, okay? A landslide hits, an epidemic spreads. We have a hurricane or tornado hit, okay? They hit or they strike, or even they sweep like a broom. They swept the city, for example. A war or a civil war, they break out, okay? So the war has broken out in this city. Famine, people suffer from famine, okay? Reading the newspaper, you may see one of these words correlated to global problems we have today. So if you have a casualties, it means that people died, whether from the action or the period or the catastrophe that happened. They could also be injured, so it's a big group of casualties. The victims, the people who suffered from this specific problem, dead or not, right? They are victims of abuse and so on. You have the survivors, so people that overcame whatever problem they were facing. You have the refugees, so people fleeing from their countries away from natural disaster or whether just for their lives, for a better life. They are running away from their country to another country. You have wounded and injured. So a wound usually is when you scrape off your skin, okay, so you have a wound, an open wound. Whereas an injure, it means that anything could have happened to you. You could have broken a leg, an arm. This is a big injury. Wound is part of the injured group, okay, so if you say injured, it's a broad term. Wounded is also the person is not okay, of course, but injured is a bigger group than wounded. Wounded definitely means something related to blood, skin, okay. We have some diseases right here. So we have rabies. Rabies is transmitted through bites. It could be a wild animal, a dog. It requires medical treatment. We have AIDS or HIV, which is mainly transmitted through contaminated blood and other ways. We have malaria, that is usually transmitted through a mosquito bite. And finally, we have cholera, which is the ingestion of contaminated water. If you're watching us on YouTube, that's it for now, but make sure you enroll to our platform where you can find the summarizing chart of this lesson. You have pronunciation exercises, many things to keep practicing, and many other topics to choose from.